Today I'm going to give the Power Smokeless Grill, a gift from my mother-in-law, a review. This is the first time I'm using it. I'm going to do some ribs with it. Right out of the box, here's the unit, everything it comes with. Griddle, grill plate, power cord. Assembly looks easy. This all comes off. Water tray in there. It's pretty simple. I'm gonna fill the water tray up. I think the instructions say 2 cups of water. Right there. Put this back on here. We'll hook up the power cord. I've already washed everything, so I'm gonna turn this on. Okay. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn this on. Let's see. Oh, touched it. I'm gonna let this heat up to about 300. I'm gonna let this heat up and burn off some of the oil. So I'm gonna put the griddle on. Sits down on top of the drip tray. I'm gonna put the lid on for now. And we'll let this go for a few minutes. Turn on the fan. It's pretty quiet. Okay, well, this is still heating up. It's still very quiet. I'm going to go ahead and prep the ribs now before I toss these on and give this a test. I've had these now in the fridge overnight, marinating in a brine. The brine's something I made homemade for me. I've seen a couple different ones online. You can use all kinds of juices, apple cider vinegars. I like a little cherry flavor in mine. So what I did with mine is I used a can of Cherry Zero Coke, about 3 splashes of Worcestershire sauce, and a little shake of garlic powder. I've seen some people put salt and other stuff in there, brown sugar. I don't like to put any of that. I don't like a high salt flavor on my ribs. I get most of mine from my rub. So I'm gonna go ahead and open these up and I'm just gonna pat dry them. I did wash my hands. It's only me that eats these in my house, so. They smell good. Okay, set it there for now. Go ahead and dry these off and get ready for the rub. Now, I did trim off the membrane. There's a whole debate on that. I like to pull them off. Some people say it helps with the flavor. Other people say leave it on, keeps flavor in. I don't know. I've always been on the side that I like taking them off. And I use the old-fashioned paper towel trick. I'll take a knife, and I'll just make a cut and then pull it back with the paper towel. Alrighty, I've had the ribs sitting for about 10 minutes in the fridge. Let them dry. So now I'm gonna go ahead and put the seasoning on, and we'll get ready to go ahead and get these onto the smokeless grill and give it a shot. For my rub, it's a very simple rib recipe, just mostly salt, pepper, some smoked paprika, and I gave it a little shot of Old Bay as well. Nope, that's the peanut gallery. I don't go too crazy with the rub. I don't really want a ton of salt for the ribs. I like the flavor of the ribs, so I'm just gonna give them a little shot here. And we'll flip them over here. On the backside. There we go. Now what I'm going to do is I've let this heat up so I can burn off any of this oil in the packaging, and I'm just going to take this thing off here. Quick spray. To take a little bit of oil. And on top of the spray, I like to put a little bit of oil just to keep everything from sticking. Now, what I'll do is go ahead and adjust this. $250. And we'll go ahead and put the ribs on. I did watch another video where the gentleman did do ribs. He had the fan off. I'm gonna leave mine on. I think I like the idea of the airflow going through the cooker. This is a full rack that I did cut into thirds. Looks like there's plenty of room. Now again, this is a gift. I don't know if they come in different sizes or not. Okay, so there's that. On. The lid seems to fit very nice. I know in the other guy's video when he flipped them over, there was a little bit of gap there. All right, so they are on. Time is almost noon. I'm gonna give these about 3 hours. I'm guessing until I start to see some of that meat splitting. Then I'm gonna flip them over maybe for another hour. Then I may sauce them up a little bit, put them in some foil, and let them sit for a little bit. All right, we'll check back in a minute. Okay, it's time for a quick check-in. Just shy of 2 hours. Maintaining the temperature. Starting to look good. I can slowly start to see some juices coming out. The meat is not yet separated from the bone. Smells good. Fan is on. We're still holding at 250. So we'll do another check-in in about an hour. You can kind of hear the ribs crackling just a little bit. We'll go one more hour, then maybe flip them. And then flip them again, and I'm going to wrap them up, and then we'll paint them at the very end. Stay tuned. Okay, so we are now about 3 hours in. You can really smell it now from the kitchen. It's hard to tell, but they are starting to darken up. I'm starting to see a lot more juices flow out, so they're looking pretty good. Again, we started at about noon, so we're 3 hours in. I'm actually going to flip these now and cook them meat side down. Let's see. The instructions say this gets hot. This glass top's hot. Handle's not too bad. So again, it's going on 3 hours and I can grab the handle. We're still at about 250. All right, mine fit just fine, so that's good. So we'll give these about 1 more hour. We'll flip them, foil them, and then paint them. Okay, it's been about another hour. Flipped over. It's looking really good. The only thing that I'm worried about, or I think is a concern, is it does seem to shut off after about an hour, hour and a half. I don't know if it's some built-in safety heat mechanism, but I did come out. The unit was still on, the fan was on. It did look like the temperature was off, so I don't know if it is a some kind of built-in safety feature. So I just came back in, hit the power button, turned it back to 250, and it's been cooking for about an hour. So I'm gonna go ahead and flip these back over. It is looking pretty good. Put the cover back on. I'm probably gonna give these about 1 more hour, wrap them, and then paint them, and we'll give it a final test. Okay, we're approaching hour number 5. So far, so good. Looks good. I'm going to give them a quick pull test. If this goes well, I know we're doing good. So if I see some good splittage, no, not quite yet. And a little separation. Okay. So the bend test, didn't really see much separation, so I am going to flip them over, cook for a little bit longer. I'm going to go maybe about another hour or so, and we'll test them again. Okay, quick update. Had to do some family stuff, so I didn't get the rest of it shot. Anyways, I went to about 1 more hour. I'd flipped them over meat side down for the last hour. So in total, 6 hours on 250. At about 6 o'clock, I did pull them off, and I like to, here's what I did. No sauce at this point. I took each section, painted them up with some barbecue sauce, wrapped up each section, wrapped them up in a towel, put them in the cooler for about 40 minutes or so. Took them out. I did try some. For the first time trying this thing out, I gotta say it came out really well. It came out absolutely perfect. It has a nice, perfect tug to it. So it's not completely falling off the bone, but you have to boil it to do that. But it's just a nice, perfect little gentle tug. And boy, they came out absolutely perfect. So all in all, I give this thing really good review. If you are gonna do ribs, I would probably plan a good 6 hours in total. Cook time, and then also the towel, foil, cooler method for about the last 30 minutes or so to let them rest and finish off. You know, again, that only happened maybe once, that the power just seemed to shut off. And again, I think it's just a safety feature. But all in all, I was very impressed with the Power Smokeless Grill. I think it did a fantastic job, and the ribs came out really, really, really good. So, all right, I hope this was helpful. Any questions, you can leave them in the comments below. Thank you.